The studio lights were hot. The cameras were already rolling. The crowd was buzzing, not with excitement, but with anticipation. This wasn't a trial, but it sure felt like one. Across from the bench sat the legendary Judge Judy Marks, tough-talking, sharp-tongued, America's self-proclaimed voice of reason. And across from her, Congresswoman Jasmine Rowe, known for her sharp intellect, her unflinching tone, and her refusal to be intimidated by titles or tenure. This wasn't supposed to be a confrontation, at least not officially. The producers had marketed the segment as an open conversation between two powerful women, but before a single question was asked, Judge Judy leaned forward and fired the first shot. "Let's not waste anyone's time, shall we?" she said, "because from what I've seen, you like to grandstand. You like sound bites. You like applause. But that's not how justice works." Jasmine didn't move, didn't blink. She just stared directly at Judy, composed, patient, unshaken. Judy wasn't done. "This is not Capitol Hill. This is not a Twitter war, and I am not one of your interns. So don't come here expecting special treatment. I don't care who you are in Washington. Here, you sit in front of me, and you answer to me." There it was. The power play, the posture, the same tactics Judy had used for years to dominate every guest who dared disagree. Only this time, something was different. Because Jasmine Rowe was not flustered. She didn't flinch. And that silence, that calm, rattled Judy more than any raised voice ever could. "I see," Jasmine said quietly. "So this is how we're doing it." A hush fell over the studio. She hadn't even begun. But everyone felt it. This wasn't going to be like every other Judge Judy segment. This time, the judge wasn't the only one with authority in the room. Judge Judy leaned back in her chair, still sizing Jasmine up. Her eyes narrowed, her jaw clenched, and that trademark smirk began to fade. Because Jasmine wasn't playing along. She wasn't reacting the way guests usually did. No defensiveness. No flustered rebuttals. Just poise. Just presence. That unnerved Judy more than any insult ever could. So she tried again. "Oh, don't get cute with me. Don't just sit there. Say something. Or are you waiting for applause before you start?" Jasmine folded her hands, took a slow breath. And then, finally, she spoke. "I was invited to have a conversation," she said calmly. "Not to be ambushed for ratings. If you want to debate, I'm ready. If you want to perform, I'll watch. But let's be clear on who's doing what." The audience held its breath. The air in the studio shifted. Judge Judy stiffened. Her voice now clipped, irritated. "This isn't about me. This is about the way you and your party pretend to know better than the people you claim to serve. You use big words. You throw out buzz phrases. But when it's time to deliver, you vanish. That's not leadership. That's theater." Jasmine didn't flinch. She waited for Judy to finish, then responded, her tone low and surgical. "I didn't come here for character critique. I came to address the facts. If you'd like to have that conversation, let's begin. If not, we can wrap this now and spare the viewers your projections." A few gasps echoed from the crowd. Even the cameraman flinched at that one. Judge Judy clenched the pen in her hand, trying to maintain control. But Jasmine wasn't backing down, and everyone could see it. This wasn't disrespect. This wasn't defiance. It was clarity. Cold. Precise. And it was working. For once, Judy Marks wasn't driving the exchange. Jasmine leaned forward. Her tone didn't rise. Her posture didn't change. But her words sliced through the room like a scalpel. "You say I vanish when it's time to deliver," she said. "So let's talk about delivery. Let's talk about policy. Let's talk about record. Because I didn't bring cameras. I brought facts. And the moment she said that, Judge Judy's eyes flicked to the folder on the table. Until now, it had just been part of the set. Un neutral prop. But Jasmine slowly opened it, revealing a series of printed documents. Receipts. Votes. Legislation. Dates. Do you remember your segment from 2 weeks ago? Jasmine asked. The one where you claimed I supported defunding the police. Where you said I wanted chaos in the streets. Let me read you my actual voting record. The camera zoomed in on the paper as Jasmine read aloud. I voted yes on increased funding for community policing. I co-sponsored a bipartisan bill to improve officer training. I've never once voted to eliminate public safety departments. Silence. Judge Judy didn't interrupt. Because she couldn't. And Jasmine wasn't done. You also said, on national television, that I called all law enforcement racist. That's a lie. What I said, and what I still believe, is that racism exists within systems. That acknowledging bias is the first step to building trust. That calling for accountability is not the same as calling for abolition. That truth matters. More murmurs in the audience. Some heads nodded. Some leaned in closer. But no one was laughing anymore. Because this wasn't a soundbite war. It was a cross-examination. And Judge Judy had just walked into her own courtroom without realizing she was the one on trial. Jasmine held up the next page in her folder. This time it wasn't her own record. It was Judge Judy's. Not her court rulings. But her quotes. Her interviews. Her legacy in her own words. I came across this interview you gave in 2015. She began, where you said, and I quote, most people who come through my courtroom lie.